Right, so we're diving into chapter 4 of Frankenstein today.
Okay.
Getting into Victor Frankenstein's, ambition, his scientific ambition, I should say,
Mm.
and how he just, really wants knowledge.
Yes.
And I think most people know the basic story of Frankenstein,
Right.
but we really want to go deep
Yeah.
and look at all the nuances
Detail.
and the context that makes this chapter so interesting.
I think one of the most fascinating things about this chapter is how Shelley portrays Victor.
Okay.
You know, not as this mad scientist,
Right.
right, which we often think of.
Yeah.
But as this young guy
Yeah.
who just has this, like, pure desire for knowledge.
Yeah, and it's almost innocent in a way.
Yes, it's untainted
Yeah.
by anything else.
Like it's his greatest strength,
Right.
but also kind of the seed of his downfall.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's this double-edged sword.
And he's doing so well at university.
Mm-hmm.
He's excelling. He's exceeding expectations
Outshining everyone.
in natural philosophy and chemistry.
Yeah, and his professors are just, like,
Yeah.
astounded by how quickly he picks things up.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not just about impressing others.
Right. Absolutely not.
Like he really has
He's driven by...
something deeper.
Yeah, there's a deeper motivation there.
Yeah.
I think Shelley really captures that beautifully when she talks about scientific pursuit. She describes it as like a continual food for discovery and wonder.
Wow.
It's not just about facts and figures.
Right.
It's this like inherent curiosity, this desire to unravel the mysteries of the universe.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really sets Victor apart.
Yeah, I think so too.
From his peers.
It makes me think about his journey into like
Yes.
the human body.
Exactly.
And the essence of life.
Right, which is not a typical path for a lot of people.
And I think it's so interesting
Yeah.
how his upbringing really shapes his view on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he wasn't brought up with these typical superstitions about death and decay.
Fear of death, the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Victor doesn't seem to have that.
Yeah.
It allows him to approach these subjects that are
taboo,
shrouded in mystery with a purely scientific lens. It's like...
right.
So while others might be recoiling at the sight of a decaying body, Victor sees a puzzle to be solved.
Yeah, and it's kind of morbid when you think about it.
It is, yeah.
But it just shows how dedicated he is.
It shows his commitment.
To uncalming those secrets.
Yeah.
To understanding those fundamental questions.
Yeah, and that ultimately leads to...
That's right.
His big revelation.
This groundbreaking discovery.
A secret to creating life.
Yeah, and that's where I think the ethical implications really start to
come to the forefront.
Yeah, because he's not just...
Because now Victor is not just a passive observer.
Right.
He's stepping into the role of a creator.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that comes with a huge responsibility.
It's just mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is.
Like, imagine the scientific community at the time.
Right.
What were the prevailing theories about the origin of life?
Well, I mean, you have to remember, this was a time when science and alchemy and even the supernatural were kind of all mixed up.
The blurred lines, yeah.
So Victor's claim that he discovered the secret to life would have been met with like a mix of awe and skepticism and probably even fear.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like he's cracked the code of existence itself.
In a way.
And now he has this huge question of what to do with that knowledge. And of course, Victor being Victor, he doesn't.
He doesn't do things by halves, does he?
He doesn't go small. Right. No. He decides to create a being.
A gigantic being.
Yeah, a gigantic statue.
Why go small when you can go big?
Exactly. Exactly.
But
and he envisions himself.
It speaks to his ambition, I think. Maybe even a little bit of hubris.
Right.
He sees himself as this benevolent creator.
Yeah, this godlike figure.
Ushering in a new era with his creation.
With his creation, yeah.
Ew.
But even with all that, there are these practical considerations, right?
Absolutely.
Like he's working with what he has.
Yeah, he acknowledges that.
Yeah.
He talks about the limitations of his tools and his materials.
Yeah.
And he explains that working with larger components was actually easier at that early stage.
Interesting.
But I think it also it hints at the limitations of scientific ambition in general.
Right.
Even with this groundbreaking knowledge, you're still limited by the resources and
the tools of your time.
So true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see that Victor is really pushing forward.
Yes.
He's engrossed in his work.
He's completely consumed by it.
And we see the toll it takes on him.
Right. It's not without its consequences for his well-being.
Yeah, he's becoming isolated, obsessed, full of anxiety.
He's neglecting his health.
Right.
His relationships.
He's losing himself in it.
And even the beauty of the natural world that he used to love.
Which is really sad.
It is. It's a direct consequence of this very focused pursuit.
He's so fixated on this goal.
He's lost sight of everything else.
Yeah.
He's neglecting his responsibilities and withdrawing from human connection.
Yeah. It's like he's traded the warmth of human interaction for this cold, sterile environment of his lab.
Of the laboratory.
Yeah.
And that's where...
And there's this chilling aspect, too.
Yes.
Where he talks about...
the really gruesome parts of his work.
He doesn't shy away from the details.
No, not at all.
This is where Shelley really blends the science with the macabre.
Yeah, perfectly.
He's talking about trips to charnel houses, dissecting corpses, even experimenting on live animals. I mean, he's crossing ethical boundaries in this pursuit of knowledge.
Big time.
And he's engaging in practices that would have been considered taboo even back then.
Yeah.
And the language he uses is really deliberate. Yeah. It's unsettling.
Oh, for sure.
He talks about his workshop as a workshop of filthy creation.
It's powerful language.
It is. Yeah. It's like he wants us to understand the dark reality behind this grand vision.
This idea of creating life.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
And yet, despite the fact that he seems to be repulsed by his own actions, he can't stop.
He can't.
He's caught in this whirlwind of ambition.
Driven by this force.
Driven by this almost irresistible force.
To complete this creation.
To complete his creation.
So where do we go from here?
That's the big question, isn't it? Yeah. What happens when this ambition collides with the reality...
with what he's created.
Of what he's brought into the world.
Yeah. We'll have to keep going to find out.
Yeah, we'll explore that further as we delve deeper into Victor's journey.
Deeper into the story.
Yeah.
Deeper into Victor.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
So we'll be right back.
Sounds good. Yeah, it really is like Victor's trapped in this prison of his own making.
Yeah.
You know, driven by this
desire
to figure out life.
To unlock all these secrets of life.
Yeah.
And it's not just a metaphor.
No.
Like, he really is suffering.
He's paying a price?
Physically.
Physically, yeah.
He's pale. He's emaciated. He's got fevers.
He talks about being plagued by anxiety.
He's really pushing himself to the limit.
Absolutely.
And he's not just isolated physically.
Right.
Like, he's also neglecting his family.
Yeah, his family and his friends.
Back home.
He mentions letters from his father, who's like, hey, what's going on?
Are you okay?
We haven't heard from you.
You're being kind of shady.
Yeah, his father's worried.
Yeah.
He thinks Victor's fallen into bad habits.
Right. Neglecting his duties.
Yeah.
Like a reminder.
It is, yeah.
Of the world outside of.
Yeah, the world outside his lab.
There's bubble.
His self-imposed bubble.
Yeah.
Of science.
And even with that concern, Victor tries to justify it.
Right. He tries to say, you know, like, oh, my dad's wrong to think I'm up to no good.
But there's this hint of guilt.
Yeah, you can tell he feels it.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Like, he knows it's come at a cost.
Yeah, that his ambition has come at a price.
He's sacrificing relationships. His well-being.
His health.
Maybe even his morals.
Yeah. Potentially his moral compass.
In this chase for knowledge.
Yeah, in this pursuit of knowledge.
And he says, he says that this focus, this singular focus, can be dangerous.
Dangerous.
That if you're weakening your affections and destroying your taste.
For simple pleasure.
For simple pleasures. That it's unlawful.
He calls it unlawful.
Yeah, unlawful.
Yeah.
Which is a strong word.
It is.
You know?
It is.
And it makes you wonder, is he having second thoughts?
I think that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, is he realizing that some knowledge might be
too dangerous to pursue
or too costly?
Right. Or the cost is too high.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say for sure because while he recognizes, you know, the potential downsides, his ambition still seems to be outweighing any doubts. Yeah, he's just so close.
He's so close to his goal.
To his goal.
He can almost taste it.
He can practically taste it.
And
the potential of this creation is just consuming him.
That's all he can think about.
But as he gets close to finishing,
completion,
his perspective is changing.
Yeah.
It's no longer just about science.
Right.
He's starting to see himself.
It's more than that.
As a god.
Yeah.
Like he could create life.
Yeah, he could conquer death.
And maybe even conquer death.
Yeah.
It's like hubris.
This is where that hubris really comes in.
Is taking over.
Yeah.
He's transcending.
He thinks he's above
the natural order.
The laws of nature.
Like he's going to usher in this new era.
Right. He's going to reshape the world.
With his creation.
Yeah.
But he's lost sight.
He has.
Of the bigger picture.
Yeah, complete.
The consequences.
The consequences of his actions.
He's not even thinking about that.
He doesn't seem to be.
And it's really interesting.
It is.
Because Shelley doesn't tell us how he does it.
She keeps that a secret.
The creation,
she doesn't reveal.
We see his anticipation.
Yeah.
His exhaustion.
His focus.
But
But the actual moment of creation,
that moment,
is shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting.
It is. It's like she's saying some knowledge is too powerful.
Too dangerous to be revealed.
To be revealed. Like we're on the edge of our seat.
Right.
Waiting for something huge.
Yeah.
But terrified of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're left grappling.
With the implications.
The magnitude.
Of what he's done.
Of what he's done.
Yeah.
And it brings us to this question.
Yeah.
Was his ambition.
This driving force.
The thing that made him do it.
Yeah.
Was it flawed?
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
Was it just bad?
Inherently flawed.
From the start?
Yeah.
Or is it more complicated? Right. Is it more nuanced than that?
Is ambition a double-edged sword?
Yeah. Can it lead to good things?
Can it lead to...
incredible breakthroughs.
Right.
But also terrible consequences.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe the answer lies.
As we see.
In what happens next.
The impact of Victor's actions.
In the aftermath.
Yeah. Okay, so last we left off.
Yeah.
Victor's about to bring this creature to life. He's completely obsessed.
Consumed by his ambition.
Yeah, and like totally oblivious to what could happen.
It seems like it.
And all this secrecy and isolation.
Yeah.
It's adding to this feeling of dread, right?
It is. It's like a dark cloud hanging over everything.
Yeah, like something bad is going to happen.
Definitely.
And he even says he's like a slave to his work.
He does.
You know, toiling away in his workshop of filthy creation.
Powerful image, right?
Yeah, it's like he's trapped.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the sense of like artistry.
Yes. He compares himself to a sculptor. Oh, yeah, I remember that part.
Carefully crafting this being.
It's so interesting, that mix of compulsion and artistic passion.
He's driven to create,
yeah,
to prove he can master life itself.
But then there's this darkness, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Might be wrong.
He's aware of the moral implications.
Yeah.
And as he gets closer to finishing, Shelley really amps up the tension.
Oh, for sure.
She starts using words like unhallowed and profane.
It's ominous.
It is.
Like foreshadowing the horror.
Yeah, hinting at the price he'll pay.
We know something bad's coming.
It's like a train wreck you can't look away from.
Right. We want to see the creation happen.
Yeah.
But we're also scared of what it'll mean.
It's a brilliant mix of emotions.
Shelley's really good at that.
Oh, she's a master.
Yeah, making us feel all these things at once.
Exactly.
So as we finish this chapter, it all comes back to that question of Victor's ambition.
That driving force.
Yeah, the thing that pushed him to do this.
Was it good? Was it evil?
Or was it both?
It's a question that goes beyond this story.
Right. It makes us think about
scientific ambition in general.
The limits of what we should know.
Yeah, and the responsibility
of pushing those boundaries.
What happens when we go too far?
Victor's like a warning.
A cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Showing us that even brilliant people can be blinded by ambition.
And make terrible mistakes.
With consequences they never imagined.
And it's so relevant today.
It is. We're seeing it all the time.
With AI, genetic engineering.
All these advancements.
It's like, how far is too far?
Exactly.
Victor's story reminds us that knowledge shouldn't come
at the expense of our humanity.
Our compassion.
Our connection to the world.
Yeah, we have to remember those things.
We do.
So we're leaving chapter 4 with this image of Victor on the edge of creation.
This brilliant but maybe mad scientist caught between progress and disaster.
It's a powerful image.
It is.
That makes you think.
About ambition, ethics.
And the power of this story.
And that's what makes Frankenstein so enduring.
It's a classic for a reason.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for listening.
Until next time.